Hey everybody, Richard here with the Elsys Amplimax Ultra. So today they have officially given me permission, actually a few days ago, they gave me permission to release software version 3.6.0 rc2 for the Elsys Amplimax Ultra. And I've officially pushed it to all of the updatable sources. And now I'm sure everybody's going to say, well, what did they update? So I'm going to make a quick video here going over some of the new things that I see on the Amplimax Ultra, and I'm actually using the one that serves the internet here at my office as one of my WAN inputs. So this one I've already updated. We can go to settings, update software, and we can see that it's got 3.6.0 rc2. So mine's already been updated. If you need to know how to update yours, there's a tutorial for that, but this one has already been done. Local update is usually how we do this, but now with 3.6.0 rc2, you can now have online updates done automatically. I believe this is defaulted to auto on, so if you don't want that, you should turn it off after you update to 3.6.0 rc2. But if you do want to have the future updates just update, I would, if you're kind of shy to problematic updates, which I'm not saying that will be a problematic update. I'm just saying if you would rather somebody else test this out, I would turn this off. I'm leaving it on. I know how to recover from anything, but in general, these auto updates will be tested very thoroughly before they're pushed to the public update server. But if you don't want to even mess with that, if you'd rather just manually update it at your own pace, then make sure you turn this off, because once you do update to 3.6.0, I believe this is turned on by default. So turn it off, click on save. Mine's set to on, auto update on at 3 a.m. That way I'm not on it. I'm never on this thing at 3 a.m. I hope I never am, but that's that. So you may notice a few new things in here, depending on which version of software you come from. So if you're from 2.50 or even the original software that shipped, and you just want to see what all the different changes are, I'm just going to go over some stuff that was in the previous 3.0 update, but some of the stuff you'll see is fairly new for some new people, and then the things that are definitely new for 3.6.0. Make sure you read the release notes. That's also on the updates page, and that will detail everything more than I do here. Watchdog has always been there. If it's enabled, it has particular settings for it. The SIM card mode, also the same, but I'm not sure it was actually on this page. The newest thing on the online update is in this. The user and password now can be changed without having to do what you had to do before. You could change it however you wanted to live. I don't actually have mine turned on, but apparently once you do turn it on, and I'll test this later, they've changed that you can change this without having to like factory reset your unit. Configure display. This was in the 3.0. But you can change it to where the display only stays on for 20 minutes after it boots up, or if it's always off, and this is the LED display on the front of the physical unit, or always on. It doesn't turn off the LEDs on the bottom under where the SIM card is, but the matrix on the front. All right. And then enable remote access through Elsys 1. This is a feature that is not usable by most people yet. It's like in an early alpha beta mode. And this is a portal. Elsys 1 is a remote portal that you can access your units remotely. So this interface can be accessed remotely, as well as you can see signal information and a few other items, and they're going to be building that out more. It will probably be a paid feature, and it is something that, like, if you gave me or you wanted me to be able to remote into yours for technical support, as long as it's online, and you turn this on and you give me your serial number and IMEI, then it could potentially remote in and change your settings for you, and then you just turn it back off when you don't want anybody to be able to do this. Make sure when you do change it that you save it. I think right now it auto saves, but anyway. Schedule reboot. This is new for the Amplimax. Disabled one-time reboot, so a particular time and date. A daily reboot at a particular time. A weekly reboot on which day. You can't seem to choose more than one day at this time and what time. And then a monthly reboot, what day of the month? Be careful with that one if you do 30th or 31st, because obviously on February that may be a problem. I don't know if they have anything to catch that. And then, of course, some days that are the 31st, will it reboot on the 30th? I don't know. So that may be something to watch out for, or just don't do those days. Just do the 28th or lower. Anyway, and the reboot time. Save, and then it will reboot itself at that date and time. It gets the time from servers. I don't think it'll set it off of anything else for store. Factory default is already there. So yeah, that's new. Under utility, blind search has always been there. This one's never been run. Now there's neighbor cells. So this is new. Neighbor cells, if you run a search, let's see here, change the connection mode to router mode. I'm not going to do this yet. I don't want to completely lose everything here. But under, I guess you have to have it on router mode. And what this does is it searches your cell towers for the actual bands. So it'll tell you what carriers and bands it sees during the scan. It won't find everything. It will time out, so it doesn't run forever. But you could probably run it multiple times and try to see if it sees anything different. But it will put out AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, US Cellular, whatever, right? And the bands that it sees. So if it sees in our 5G bands, it'll show those 5G bands. It won't tell you if they're standalone or not capable. That's not really a thing. Like they're generally the tower controls that. But anyway, this is pretty cool. Now you can actually scan to see what bands this thing sees instead of just the basic the way the blind search worked, where it just showed a percentage of strength. That percentage of strength that it shows is just a what percentage of strength it sees on the one band that it found when it did the scan, but it doesn't tell you what band. So this one's okay for like ASIC things, whereas this one will actually show you what physical bands it sees on which carriers. Pretty cool. All right. TR69 configuration, some things were updated and changed with that. TTL's already there. Diagnostic tools is new, actually. So this is ping and traceroute. You can do this directly from the Amplimax modem out to, or inward maybe, probably only out. But you can do this to ping DNS servers, to test to make sure that you've got connectivity, as well as a traceroute tool direct from the modem. So pretty neat there. And that's it for the utilities and settings. The blind search operating bands is the same. Nothing changed here. Same deal. Standalone, non-standalone, or auto. 4G, 5G, 3G. 3G's really useless. 4G can turn off all the bands. 5G can turn off all those bands. So that's nothing new there. The connection settings page is a little different. So they did change the way this looks. Configure APN jumps right in here. And this is different. So now the configure APN is selectable manual auto here. And then user password, your APN that you're using. This one's on T-Mobile Home Internet. Your WAN IP protocol. I've been testing mine actually on IPv6 only. But generally people use IPv4 v6. And then the authentication protocol is new. So that's PAP-CHAP on this one. I typically use either none or PAP-CHAP. If you're using a private cellular network, then you'll know that you need a user and password and probably a special authentication protocol. If you're just using a standard T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, you don't need this. Just leave those blank. Save, restart. So that's new. And then connection modes, LAN IP protocol, allow ping to via WAN. So that is new. That means that the internet at large pings stuff all the time. It's just the ICMP requests are running around all over the place. The Amplimax by default declines those. Its little firewall actually won't respond to those. You can make it respond to those now with this. So this is, again, only from the modem side out to the internet, that side. It doesn't affect pings that can come through or out or whatever. It only affects incoming pings to the modem itself. So that you can allow that for special testing and so forth. This is the same. These are the same. So nothing's changed there. The Ethernet port, I believe this is new. They added some warnings about changing the IP address and DHCP range. In most cases, don't change this. You don't need to change this unless the router you're connecting your Amplimax Ultra to uses this address right here, 192.168.10, for its network address. In all other cases, don't change this. You don't need to change it. You don't need to match anything. Just leave it alone. And then save and apply, of course. So that's the new stuff there. System status is a little different in that I believe it now has SIM card information for both SIM slots if you have both SIM cards inserted. Everything else is generally the same. I think you can change how the data reset consumption stuff a little bit differently, but that's in the system notes. But overall, that's it. That's all the changes with the new update. And I do believe there was a fix for bridge mode and the watchdog. So I think before, when you were in bridge mode, the watchdog didn't work right. And I think that's fixed. So there should be a more capable, better way of using IPv6 only on T-Mobile potentially and pass-through, and better watchdog usability on bridge mode, IP pass-through, and just, of course, fixes. So again, for the fine details, look at the update document on the page, and otherwise, this is it. I do, as a last thing, I do recommend I do this. Anytime you do an update, factory reset the unit and reset it up from scratch. It's just, you don't have to. You probably should never have to, but I do. So it's just, all my stuff works better whenever I factory reset after an update and then reconfigure everything from scratch. It doesn't take long. If you've done it once, you can do it again. If you don't want to, that's fine. If you have problems, though, you may want to factory reset and reset it up. So again, this is Richard. This is the Elsys Amplimax Ultra version 3.6.0 update. Quick overview. Quick, I say. It's probably been about 10, 15 minutes. But anyway, if y'all have any questions or needs or concerns or anything else, as always, you can reach out and we'll take care of you as quick as we can to get you and keep you online. Take care.